Assalamu alaikum, dear students. How are you? I hope you will all be fine. So today we have to start with the active and passive voice. We have successfully completed with all the tenses. We have successfully practiced all the correct use of the verbs with all the tenses, and we already know the tenses. So I think now it will be very easy for you people just to understand the active and passive voice as you already know the tenses. So according to the tenses, you have to apply the rules and you have to change the active sentences into passive voice. So let's start with the lecture. In active voice, the subject is doing the action while the object is the one receiving the action. It means that subject is the doer of the action and object is the receiver of the action. Object can be something or object can be some person who receives the action of the subject. Active voice is considered to be the normal form of sentence. Most of the time, we always write a sentence, a normal sentence which we write most of the time is active sentence. So most of the sentences that we make use active voice. It is also simpler compared to passive voice. It follows the pattern. So the structure formula of active voice is subject, which is the doer of the action, plus verb. It can be some helping verb or action verb, plus object, which is the receiver of the action. Like you can see over here in the example, Harry ate a sandwich this morning. In this sentence, Harry is the subject, ate is the verb, and sandwich is the object which is receiving the direct action of the subject, which is Harry. So this is an active sentence. It has been written in the active voice. Lillian washes the dishes after dinner. In this sentence, again, Lillian is the subject, washes is the verb, and dishes is the object. So again, this sentence has been written in the active voice. Now, if we want to change a sentence into the passive voice, so what is going to be that structure formula which is needed to change a sentence from active voice into passive voice? Suppose you can see here in the example, Ali sang a beautiful song last year. Ali is the subject over here, sang is the verb, and beautiful song is the object. Now, if you want to change this sentence into the passive voice, so the structure formula will be that object of the active sentence will come in the beginning of the sentence. What is the object of the active sentence? A beautiful song. And then we are going to have the helping verb, was or were. Then we have third form of the verb. And then the subject of the active sentence, which is Ali, would come in the end of the sentence. This is how you have to change an active sentence into the passive voice. Again, I'm going to repeat over here that object of the active sentence will come in the beginning of the sentence. Then helping verbs will be there, third form will be there, and the subject of the active sentence will come at the end of the sentence. So this is how you can easily change an active sentence into passive voice. Yes, it is very, very much important to know the forms of be because you always have to change the forms of be over there whenever you have to change a sentence from active into passive. So let's see what are the forms of be. These verbs are just one form of auxiliary verb. What do we mean by auxiliary verbs? By auxiliary verbs, it means helping verbs. We also have their forms. These are the different forms of be. The first, the present forms of be are is, am, are, and the past forms of be are was and were. And the third form of be is been, and the present participle form of be is being. So these are the different forms which are used in different sentences. So you have to keep in the mind that whenever you are using the present tense, so the forms of be will be is, am. is MR. Whenever you have to use it in the past tense, the forms of be will be was and were. Whenever you have to use it in a perfect sentence or perfect tenses, the forms of be will be been. And if you have to change the continuous tenses into passive voice, the form of be will be been. So this is how you have to use it. Okay, students, you can see over here in the slide that if you are doing the present tense, the forms of be will be am, is, and are. If you are doing the past tense, the forms of be will be was and were. If you are dealing with the perfect sentences like present perfect or past perfect, the forms of be will be been. And if you are changing the continuous sentences like present continuous or past continuous, into passive voice, so the form of be will be be, which is called present participle form of be. So in this way, you can easily learn the forms of be. There will be no confusion at all. Yes, am is always used with I. Is always used with he, she, and it, or a singular noun. Are is always used with they, you, I, they, you, they, or the plural nouns. In this way, you have to use am, is, and are. Was, were. With I, we always use was, or with a singular subject. Were is always used with I, we, you, they, or the plural subject. In this way, you have to use was and were. With we, you have to use were, and with the plural subject. Been is always used with has, have, or had. Has is used with the singular, he, she, it, or the singular subject. And have is used with I, we, you, they, and the plural subject. And had is used with all the subjects. So, in the case of perfect sentences like present perfect or past perfect, we use has, have, or had been in order to change the passive sentences. If you want to change continuous tense like present continuous or past continuous, then you will have to know, or you will have to use is or are, was or were with being, and the third form of the verb. Mandy gave me this book. Mandy is the subject, gave is the verb, and me is the object over here, and book is another object. Fine. So if you want to change it into the passive voice, this is the passive sentence of the active sentence. The principal suspended my friend. This is an active sentence. My friends were suspended by the principal. So in this case, you can see that the object of the active sentence comes in the beginning of the sentence, and the principal, which was the subject of the active sentence, comes at the end when we are changing it into passive voice. My sister borrowed my car. My sister is the subject. Borrowed is a verb. My car is the object. When we will change it into passive, my car will come in the beginning, which is the object. Helping verb will be there, third form will be there, and then my sister, which was the subject in the active sentence, will come at the end. So this is how you can easily change the sentences from active into passive. Same is the case over here. You can easily change the sentences into passive voice. Now, the most important thing is the change of pronouns. Whenever you will change the sentence into passive voice, the pronouns will also be changed, because suppose I is the subject pronoun and the me is the object pronoun of I. when you will change the sentence from active into passive, so the passive pronoun or the object pronoun will come in the passive sentence. So this is how you have to change the pronoun. We is the subject pronoun and us is the object pronoun of we. He is the subject pronoun and his or him is the objective case of he. She is the subject pronoun and her is the object pronoun of she. They is the subject pronoun and them is the objective pronoun of they. You and it are the subject pronouns and there is no change at all. You and it are the object pronouns as well. So this is how you can easily change the pronouns whenever you have to change the sentences from active into passive voice. I hope students your basic idea with the active and passive voice was quite much clear. Later in the first lecture, in the next lecture, we will start with the tenses. According to the tenses, we will change one by one with all the tenses. We will learn how to change the sentences from active voice into passive voice. Okay, students, Allah Hafiz.